Now watch Ali Dawah and his little army of fanboys respond with, "Oh, you're looking for a wife," or "simp."
We've got a white knight simp, 5-star grade A simp. This is what we call a simp. Yes, he thinks by doing this, and there's a chance. My brother, with all due respect, we keep trying. Look what he has to say.
How predictable are these jokers, right? So when somebody told me that Ali Dawah had made a whole 20-minute video about me, I was genuinely flattered. I thought, yes, I've made it. But then when I actually got around to watching it a few days later, I was actually quite disappointed because only 5 minutes of the end of that 20-minute video was about me. And I hate it when other people steal my limelight, especially when it's women. Now, I wasn't going to respond to this because who the hell wants beef with Ali Dawah, right? I mean, this guy is a giant in the world of da'wah and he's the clickbait king of social media. He's probably got a whole army of minions ready to put me in my place at the behest of his command. But then a number of people suggested, and don't ask me why they felt like this, but they kept insisting that Ali needs to see a psychiatrist or a therapist. And it made me think, wouldn't it be interesting to psychoanalyze Ali's incredible mind and see what's going on in there? I want to begin by apologizing for the poor production of this video. I'm just a mesquite guy. I've got no proper equipment, no decent lighting, no fancy backdrop, no professional editor, and I've got no Rizwan standing behind the camera. I'm just sitting on my daughter's bed filming from my phone, and I hope that where I lack Ali's production quality and his riz, that the points I make on this video will make up for that. Now, just to make it clear, this is not a refutation of Ali. There's no way someone like me could defeat someone like Ali in a debate. He is what I call a master debater. I'm already at a disadvantage because I don't have his sharp intellect and witty humour. I don't have his good looks or his charming voice. So it's not difficult to see why all the sisters would fall madly in love with him. Nor is it difficult to understand why I'd be so jealous of him. But I hope, and I mean I really hope, that by doing this video I can steal some of the attention that Ali has. And perhaps I can steal some of those hearts that are under Ali's spell. I mean, why else would I make such a video, other than my burning desire to find another wife? So I'm not going to go through the whole video, as half of it is just about how everyone is madly in love with Ali and obsessed with him. And we all know that's true, so there's no need to discuss it or debate it. But the other half is quite interesting. Okay, so Ali got a bit upset with me because I used certain words to describe him. He mentioned the words moron and weasel. But I think I also used the words stupid, muppet, narcissist, and claimed that he suffers from the Dunning-Kruger effect as well. And that was wrong with me, so I do apologise if I hurt his feelings, and I do feel like I owe an explanation. Number one, weasel. The reason I called him a weasel is because I genuinely believe he was being disingenuous and vindictive in his attacks against the influencer who said that divorce papers are a proof of a woman's self-worth. If he was sincere, he could have made a video without all the theatrics, explaining why she was wrong and why her views are so dangerous. He portrays himself as a man of God, and he's built a whole career around preaching, but he failed to approach his influencer with the kindness and compassion of Islam. Instead, he throws ad hominem attacks and loaded statements to influence the emotions of his audience to look at her with disgust, shame and hate. And the reason he did that is probably because he has no real reasons as to why he's angered by this post, but something about the post deeply troubles him and therefore he felt the need to react. But we'll come back to explore what that is a little later. And I mean, just look at this thumbnail. Does that look like something a genuine and sincere person would do? He doctored all our faces to create a narrative in his viewer's mind. Isn't this slander in Islam when you're trying to push out a lie about people? And if he went through all that trouble of doctoring all of our faces, I can't see why he couldn't just fix his up a little bit as well. But is this, in your eyes, manipulative behaviour or the behaviour of someone sincere, or as I see it, a weasel? Number two, I called him a moron. And I did that because, well, he's a bully. This isn't the first time he's bullied someone, and I doubt it will be the last. Someone who preaches godliness should not be bullying anyone. That is not the way of our Prophet ﷺ, nor is that behaviour that would please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Allah says invite them with kindness and with good words. So how do you explain somebody who preaches Islam? In fact, his name is Da'wah. Da'wah means to invite. How does one who is meant to invite people to Islam end up bullying people? And he's not just bullying anyone. He's stooping to the level of bullying the most vulnerable in society. A female, a single mother, one who suffered in a toxic marriage and has gone through divorce, which can be extremely traumatic. In fact, he acknowledges so many times that she's been traumatized, yet he continues to bully her. How do you explain that? Well, in psychology, that's called cognitive dissonance. This is when you have a set of contradictory beliefs, such as we should be merciful with people, but we should oppress them too. Or it's when you have a set of beliefs, but your behavior contradicts them, such as Allah is merciful and we should be merciful, but then you go around bullying people. Why did I call him stupid and a muppet? Well, that's because he is. And that's not an insult, it's just my evaluation of his cognitive abilities. I don't rate him one bit intellectually. But in short, he uses words he doesn't understand the meaning of. He literally had no intellectual point during the attacks that he made. And he cannot think coherently or logically or come to coherent or logic conclusions. And that's why he makes so many assumptions, gets involved in ad hominem attacks, and creates narratives using emotions. And I'll demonstrate from the video he made why I think this. I mean, one example is that he uses the word irony. He says it's ironic that I'm defending this influencer's position on divorce when I myself have been divorced twice. But how is that irony? That just means that I was in two relationships that ended. I learned lessons from my experiences and mistakes, and that has influenced my current view. There is no irony there. He says about the influencer that she's a narcissist because narcissists don't apologize and they double down. Well, that's not what narcissism is. He uses the word trauma a number of times, which is a psychological term, and he clearly doesn't know what that means because there's no way somebody recognizes another person has suffered trauma and then goes on to bully that person. Number 4, why do I call him a narcissist? Well, because in Ali's world, only Ali's reality exists. Also in Ali's world, he is far more important than he actually is in real life. Mind you, he'll defend himself saying he's never said that, but that's what his behaviour says. In Ali's world, he's the vanguard of Islam and he's responsible for protecting the religion from deviants and heathens. And it is his responsibility to enjoin the good and forbid the evil. Again, he'll deny he's ever said things like this, but his behaviour says it all. And Ali's narcissism is closely connected to my claim that he suffers from what is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Number 4, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a phenomenon whereby a person who knows very little about a certain field is overly confident about that field, and he thinks he knows more than somebody who's actually well learned in that field. They're under the illusion that they actually know more than they do, which gives them a false sense of confidence and arrogance. And people who actually are experts in their field, they tend to be a lot more humble because they are able to recognize their gaps in knowledge. And you'll find that people who suffer the Dunning-Kruger effect love debating because they think they're always right. And linking that back to narcissism and ego, they feel the need to constantly prove to the whole world that they are always right. And you'll find that actual scholars, actual academics, intellectuals, very rarely engage in debate, especially when it's about proving themselves. Now, I mean no disrespect here, but Ali can't even pronounce the words Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nor can he say Wallahi or Dayyuth or any other Arabic word that he frequently uses and has no idea what they really mean. And my advice to him would be that the best thing he could do is go and learn Arabic and study tajweed, so at least you can recite the Quran properly. But despite this, he thinks he's in a position to go around correcting everyone that differs with him and judging them. While there are actual shuyukh out there who, if they saw this influence and their posts as such big threats, and they thought it was really that harmful, they could address it themselves. Surely they're more qualified to call them out and to correct them than Ali is. Are they not? So why is it that Ali feels the need to do this? Again, this is because of the Dunning-Kruger effect, his narcissism and his ego. By the way, narcissism is when you have an overly inflated sense of self-importance. And that's exactly what Ali is. Okay, so now that my apology and explanation are out of the way, let's do some psychoanalysis.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. It's your local misogynist Ali Dawah, the woman-hating man. Yes, but for some odd reason, nobody has come to collect their £1,000 and for me to delete my YouTube channel because there is nothing that I've ever said. But interesting.
Okay, so apparently no one has taken up his challenge to point out his misogyny, collect the £1,000 and get him to close his YouTube channel. Now, Ali thinks that this challenge is a win for him. He thinks he's being clever when he says this. And most of his dimwit followers will cheer him on and think, yeah, no one can get you, Ali. But this is a disingenuous weasel maneuver because no matter what anyone says, and anyone's claims and accusations, Ali will dismiss that as misogyny. It's like going to a Tommy Robinson march and speaking to the members there and, trying to show them that they're racist. They'll tell you they're not racist, they have a black friend or a brown friend. So good luck trying to convince one of Tommy's followers that they're racist. And it's the exact same thing with Ali. You see, to be able to see one's own toxic attitudes, you need to have a certain level of self-awareness. Something Ali just does not possess.
Mr. Aya, who's come out and said absurd stuff. I have nothing personal against her. I've never ever, I don't have nothing personal issue with her, except her coming and generalizing all men, saying pack your bags and leave, have the baby and leave, coming and saying I don't want to marry a man on deen, your divorce papers or your self-worth, etc., blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, has she come and said, you know what, I'm wrong for saying that and I should not send that, I didn't want to generalize? But no, of course not, because it shows what kind of a narcissist woman she is. Only a narcissist doubled down and said, hold on a second, the Prophet made some valid points. Nope. She said now that I am in love with her. Yes, I'm in love with her. Look.
Okay, so he claims that she's a narcissist because only narcissists double down. Again, he thinks that because he disagrees with her, that she must be wrong, and therefore she owes him an apology. Ali, my brother, this is where you use the word irony. Because you are literally being the narcissist here. You think that because you are who you are and you said what you said, that she owes you an apology. Do you see how your sense of self-importance is overinflated here? You are a nobody to her. She's got her channel, she will do her thing. You got involved in her channel and then you want her to apologize to you. Why would she do that? That's not narcissism. What you're doing and your expectations, that's what stems from narcissism.
Me? Yes, I want to marry you. I want to take you as my second, third, fourth wife, whatever you want to do. I cannot wait to be married to a woman like you, 100%. I mean, the appeal is so appealing, especially with those eyelashes that you have, sister. Like you said, when I talk eyelashes, it's because I'm in love with those eyelashes. But if you blinked a bit faster, you start flying away. Yes, it's so in love. Let's carry on, guys.
Like a joke, but I'm being very serious here. Pay close attention to the kinds of women these men are so adamant on dragging down and making videos about. They are always very beautiful, stunning women. These kind of men are socialized to believe that a beautiful woman's ultimate goal is to be chosen by or to
Look, now I don't agree with her take that Ali is giving her attention because he's attracted to her. I mean, it could be true, but I don't think it is. I think Ali giving her attention has more to do with his narcissism, his egos and his insecurities, which we'll speak more about later. But this hilarious joke about her flying away by blinking, do you think that's representative of Islam? Do you think in Islam you should be commenting on somebody else's looks, especially a woman?
I love how she's not calling herself beautiful, but indirectly she's calling herself beautiful. I mean, look at the absolute narcissism. Not I am wrong or I should have said that's wrong. No. It's because she's apparently really attractive.
Okay, again with the narcissism, I think somebody really needs to explain to me what a narcissist is. Ali, it is not narcissistic to acknowledge your own beauty. So the fact that she thinks she's beautiful or other women are beautiful, that's not narcissism. And the reason she didn't say it directly, the way you praise your own looks a little bit later in the video, is because she has something called humility. It's actually a good Islamic trait to have, just in case you didn't know. But of course, you know everything. And again, she should apologize. For what, bro? Who are you? She's doing her thing. Why are you getting involved? And then expecting an apology afterwards because you got offended by it. Again, this is where you use the word narcissist. As in, she owes me an apology because I am Ali, the narcissist.
I mean, I don't want to be insulting. I don't want to fall into backbiting because I can critique your looks all day, every day. And let me be honest with you, my dear sister, with all due respect, and I've said this to the other hijabi who looks like a plastic hijabi. Okay, with all due respect, I will not take you as a second, third, fourth wife, let alone like with anything. With all due respect, yeah, I'm not going to critique your looks because that's subjective to each individual. Okay, please, if you saw my wife, your jaw would drop. Please.
Okay, so this is quite funny because he starts by saying, I don't want to be insulting and I don't want to backbite. Right after he was just insulting and backbiting, and then continues to go straight on to more insults and backbiting. Again, in psychology, this is called low self-awareness and cognitive dissonance. So there are two things to note here. Number one, he feels the need to assert that he's above their league and that he wouldn't choose them even as second, third or fourth wives. This is what we call bravado. When someone projects a false sense of confidence to cover up the insecurities they're really feeling inside. And what's really funny about this whole thing is that the whole internet is laughing at Ali because in his mind, he thinks that he's actually above their league. And the other thing to note is his need to establish that his wife is beautiful, that their jaws will drop if they saw his wife. Again, you have to ask yourself, what made him feel the need to say that? I mean, did they ever say that they're better looking than his wife? So why did he get defensive in that way? Does anyone care what his wife looks like or how pretty she is? Nope. But he feels like either his wife isn't attractive enough and that makes him feel insecure, or he feels that people will think that his wife is not attractive, which also makes him insecure. I think it's probably the latter. And that's why he felt the need to go on the offensive to make sure that people know that his wife is jaw-droppingly attractive. So again, this stems from insecurity.
She doesn't want male validation, but we men are in love with her apparently. But she doesn't want male validation. Okay, but we are in love with her. Okay.
So she doesn't want male validation, but she claims men are attracted to her. Ali points this out as if there's some contradiction there, but there is no contradiction there. She's saying two different things. One statement is that she and other women don't need male validation anymore. And the other statement is that men, like Ali and others, are attracted to them. So what's the problem here? What's the contradiction? Both of those can be true at the same time. That they don't want your validation and that you guys are after them. But in Ali's mind, it's a contradiction. And this is another example of his incoherent thinking and conclusions. And this is why he falls into my stupid claim.
Me and all the men that are criticizing her, we are in love with her. We cannot wait to marry a woman like her. Oh my gosh, every man's dream is to marry a woman like her, subhanAllah, with those eyelashes, and leaving with a baby, divorce, men are this, men are that, blah, blah. You are the last thing we'll marry on earth. But no problem, let's go with it. So according to your logic, you've done videos. I've done one video about you. Okay, this is the second one because I found this hilarious. It was hilarious. So let's get this logic.
Okay, so this will give us a chance to explore Ali's logic. But before we do that, I have to point out that he keeps saying again and again that she thinks they're all in love with her. Not once did she say anyone is in love with her. She said that they find her attractive. And why is that so hard to believe? Even if it's not true, I'm sure plenty of men would find her attractive. So why are you getting so defensive? And she's not saying you're in love with her, but she's saying you find her attractive. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Why are you getting so defensive about that? Just another quick note here. Again, most of what he says aren't intellectual points. And that's why he needs the theatrics and strawmen to influence the emotions of his viewers so that they can get on board with what he's saying without him making an intellectual argument. Again, this in my view is weasel behavior. Ali says that these women are the last people he'd marry. He doesn't even speak for himself. He says we'd marry as if he's speaking for all men. And I have to say, literally every single man and woman who hears this is laughing at him because they're thinking that this guy is absolutely full of shit. So is Ali lying or is he deluded? Personally, I don't know. It could be either. He could be lying or he could just be deluded.
I know who you're talking about because you guys spoke to each other as well. The other Turkish one who's tapped in the head. Okay, who's rejecting her.
Again, he says the other Turkish one who's tapped in the head. I thought he wasn't going to do insults and backbiting. What happened with that?
Tapped in the head. Okay, who's rejecting hadith, which is, you're a disbeliever if you reject hadith, yeah? Okay.
He mentions that if you reject hadith, you're a disbeliever. Now, this is what makes me think he's stupid. Because he thinks that rejecting hadith is rejecting the Prophet ﷺ or the Sunnah. Ali and people like him cannot differentiate between the Prophet, his Sunnah, and a hadith. He doesn't realize that the Sunnah is what the Prophet actually said and done, and hadith are what people collected, which are words and statements that are ascribed to the Prophet. We don't know for 100% if these things were actually said and done by the Prophet. Some are more likely than others, but the point is, we don't know. And therefore, when you're rejecting a hadith, you're not rejecting the Prophet ﷺ or what he did or said, you're rejecting the person who narrated it or the person who collected it. And there's nothing wrong with that. These people are not prophets and angels. These are normal human beings who are prone to making mistakes or being dishonest. And this is what I mean by these people are dumb.
All those other women, the niqabis that have been coming and talking, etc., whatever it is, whoever it is, for that, they are all in love with me. So according to your logic, you look. I'm blushing now. Now I'm getting a little bit excited now. As a man. Now I would say I'm a decent looking man. I wouldn't say I'm like extremely handsome, but now I'm starting to think I think I'm really handsome now because now, according to your logic, the reason we're attacking you is because we want to be with you and we can't be with you. I've even seen some comments where people like, he just wants you and he can't. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm like, I look at it and I go, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to be with a woman like her with 3 kilos of makeup and eyelashes and divorce and man leave the man and the man is this and the man is that and leave your baby and take your baby and blah blah. We cannot wait to be with a woman like you. Oh my gosh. So according to your logic, are you all in love with me? Yeah, that backfired, didn't it?
Wallahi, this guy is so unaware and so arrogant. And this would actually be funny to me if I didn't actually think that Ali believes that they all want him. But again, his lack of self-awareness doesn't allow him to see that they're speaking about him in reaction to his hate, his arrogance and his bullying. Whilst his speaking about them was preemptive. He went onto their page, he looked at their content and he responded to them. He gave them attention first, and now that they're trying to shoo him away and brush him off, he thinks that they're giving him attention. He reminds me of that guy, and we all know him, who bumped into a girl, and so she gives him a dirty look. And then so he runs to his friends and he tells them, you know what, that girl fancies me, that girl so has a crush on me. That's what Ali's doing here, basically. And again, what happened to the no insults and no backbiting? And no, Ali, nothing backfired. Nothing you even said remotely made any sense.
I mean, it's such a stupid, silly, narcissistic thing to say, isn't it? It's so silly. I mean, imagine people criticize me and say, Brother Ali, you know, if I was a real misogynist, by the way, Brother Ali, you're always attacking a woman, you're degrading women, etc. And I go, you know what? All you sisters are in love with me. Yes, that's what it is. Not that I'm wrong, not that I'm a narcissist, not that I'm a manipulator, not that I gaslight. No. You guys are in love with me. Can you imagine that people will be like, what the hell? That's your comeback. It just shows you, brothers and sisters, the level of stupidity people go to. And this shows you again how women with their emotions, this is what I'm saying. When the Prophet ﷺ will talk about this stuff, yes, okay, this is why. Okay, because the emotional instability. You've gone through whatever you've gone through. We haven't heard the story of your ex. We know nothing about it. We're not saying it's right or wrong. Neither are we saying you're right or wrong. We do not know. But look at your intellectual academic response is that because I am in love with you. Someone like you, with all due respect.
Academic response. Ali actually took her attempt to shoo him away as an academic response. Is that what you consider to be academic responses? And again, with a narcissism. Somebody please tell him. I'm going to teach you one more time how to use the word irony. You calling other people stupid, Ali, that's irony.
Hope so, yeah? Okay, the other one, you can say she's a disbeliever. Yeah? She rejects hadith, she mocks Imam Bukhari. All her videos are either mainly about me. So she's in love with me.
She said that she rejects hadith and she mocks Imam Bukhari. I think it's a problem with a lot of Muslims where they elevate the status of Imam Bukhari and other people as if to accept what they say or to believe that what they say is true is a tenet of faith. These people were not prophets and they weren't angels, okay? They are not themselves wahi, they're not revelation. And Ali, brother, please, nobody is in love with you. You're just annoying and pissing a lot of people off, for goodness sake, and they're trying to get rid of you. And this, guys, is what we call delusion. When people are giving him attention to get rid of him and he thinks that that attention is because they love him.
You and her both are claiming what? That I'm in love with you. Why is it keep coming from you guys? Like, if anything, there is evidence as if you want me. And with all due respect, sister, someone like you, I will not make you a third, fourth wife. Wallahi, let me tell you something. A woman like you, you cannot be my fourth wife. Fourth wife. Okay? I don't marry a woman based on their looks, and if there was any looks, with all due respect. Yes, you are not my type at all. Yes? Okay. That woman that you're talking about, the other sister, talks about my private parts, talks about, imagine I fell in love with Ali Dawah. I'm thinking, why are you talking like that, man? I'm a married man. I'm a married man. Yes? Sexual tension, saying there's sexual tension between me and Ali Dawah. And when I said to her, keep going, exposing yourself, she goes, keep going. Your wife has never said that to you. It's sexual stuff. She goes, you have a crush on me. Who else has accused me? She also accused me of having crush on her. And now you're claiming the same thing. And then she goes, and then she was sending me roses, flowers. I was finding it was so bizarre. And then she goes, I can come unlike your wife. Isn't that weird and bizarre that all of you women that are criticizing me are always talking about me being in love with you, and I've mentioned nothing like that at all. At all. So it seems like they say every accusation, Rizwan, is a confession, isn't it? That's correct. I think that little nod there from our brother Rizwan, alhamdulillah, it's an affirmation to that. So, Sister Aya and other all hijabis, etc. Yes, please, I have no interest in you guys.
Okay, so why is Ali having such a meltdown over these women saying that he finds them attractive? Why can't he just brush it off? Like, whatever, who cares? Why did he feel it was so important to make it crystal clear that he doesn't want them? That's something I'll let you guys think about. That's your homework. So share your thoughts in comments below. You can psychoanalyze why you think Ali Dawah feels so offended because they think that he's attracted to them and they need to defend himself and make that clear. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Yet again, Ali says that they seem traumatized, but he spent 10 minutes mocking, insulting and demeaning them.
Okay. And we're going to end on this note. We've got a white knight simp, 5-star grade A simp. Some people, this guy here, he's come out recently. Bro, there's this new simps coming out. Yes, okay. We've got one who's a psychedelics one, okay, who's obsessed. And then we've got this guy, okay, who's an absolute calling me a weasel. Okay, no problem, brother. No problem. Let's dissect.
Okay, this is the part I've been waiting for. So apparently we have a white knight here. Can someone please explain to me why that's an insult? A white knight is somebody that comes to the aid of another person. Isn't that a good Islamic thing to do? How toxic do you have to be now to label people as white knights as if it's an insult that you came to defend somebody or to somebody's aid? This one, however, I have no idea what it means. What's a 5-star grade A simp? Can someone explain to me what that means? What makes someone a 5-star grade A simp? And this is why I say Ali is a weasel. Because he can't tell me what I did wrong or what I said wrong. He has to come up with, you're a simp and you divorced and you're a deviant. And I told you that this is how he's going to respond to my video. You're a simp, 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 simp. And now all his fangirls are going to jump on a simp bandwagon as well. But no one can seem to explain to me what a simp is and why I'm a simp. By the way, if I'm a simp, I'm a simp. It doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not offended by it. And this is also why I call them stupid. Because this is a village mentality, guys. When people are uneducated and cannot think critically, someone will shout out, blasphemy, or shame on you. And the rest of the crowd, the rest of the village, they come out with their pitchforks and torches to lynch this person. And this is why Ali is a disingenuous weasel. Because that's exactly what he's doing, but on social media.
Has been coming out and attacking men. I'm thinking, what's this simpish behavior coming from? Because he himself, this man, admitted, because I'm thinking, why is he coming and defending men, women, and he was attacking men, defending women. I was thinking this.
Okay, so I suppose this is giving me a bit of an insight into what a simp is. Apparently I'm a simp because I attack men. But what Ali seems to think is an attack on men, I would say is actually holding myself and other men to account. For me, that is accountability. And as far as I know, that is also a good Islamic thing to do.
Then we found out with his own mouth, by the way, he is on borderline rejected hadith. There's been speculation about him leaving the fold of Islam. Why?
Just quickly, he has a bit more weasel behavior. He's trying to manipulate emotions with claims that I reject hadith or that I've left Islam.
Little did we know that he came out and said that he was actually someone who used to abuse his wives. So Sister Aya, that's the kind of men. Look, these are the kind of men that are defending you, but you are the kind of woman that's warning against men like that. He had two.
This guy thinks he's uncovering something here. Little did we know. Yeah, Ali, little did we know. Because I'm the one who spoke about it. I'm the one who told everyone about it, bro.
He had 2 wives. He would be a red pill, affected by red pill. He would use hadith in the wrong way and abuse his wives by probably not letting them in the house or something like that, violating the rights, violating the Islamic rights, okay? Using a hadith and abusing them and both of his wives, which is very ironic. Let's just listen to what he has to say. So he's defending Aya, Sister Aya, and you can see these are the kind of men that want to marry you. This is what we call a simp. Yes, he thinks by doing this and there's a chance. My brother, with all due respect, we keep trying. Look what he has to say. He's criticizing my video by me saying, sis, why are you encouraging divorce? Look what he.
Okay, so guys, this is where Ali's stupidity and low self-awareness shows again. Because he's making up all these assumptions about me and speaking about my life and things I've been through without knowing any of the context. And he's also insinuating that I want to marry this Sister Aya, which again, isn't that slander? For me, it's just weasel behavior. So very quickly, guys, just because he's brought it up. Now, I've touched upon this before and I will speak about it in much more detail in the future. But I was involved in 3 polygamous marriages. 3, not 2. 3 of my marriages ended, not 2, by the way. And there's no shame in that. The first one and the third one were quite toxic. The second one wasn't. It was a mutual agreement and we just wanted different things in life. And the interesting thing about the second one is she was a revert, and when she got divorced, about a year after we divorced, she actually left Islam, which I've spoken to her about, and it was deeply revealing. So 3 divorces, 2 of them were toxic, the first and the last, the second one wasn't. But you know what? There's no shame in that. Mistakes were made on all sides. The only difference is, whereas after the separations, I blamed them for the marriage failing. Now that I've learned, matured and grown, I believe that the failure of those marriages were actually on me. Now, I've mentioned in a previous post or 2 that I was abusive to my wives. That doesn't mean I physically abused them. Alhamdulillah, I've never laid a finger on my wife or any of my exes, nor have I even ever sworn at any of them. It was all psychological and emotional abuse, gaslighting and coercion. All of the things that Ali and his followers wouldn't even consider to be abuse. And to be fair, I didn't think it was abuse at the time. At the time, I thought I was just being a good Muslim, I was being a leader, I was being an alpha male, I thought I was doing the right thing. And at the time, I didn't see that it was actually causing them a lot of pain and suffering. And Ali and his people are probably doing the same thing in their marriages right now, but they just don't know they're doing it. It's crazy because I thought I was being a good husband. I thought I was doing the right thing. but I didn't realize how it was causing them suffering. And that's one of the reasons I speak about these things now. It took so much reflection and introspection for me to see the impact of my behavior before, and to see that these so-called misogynistic views and ideas, they're not harmless, they actually cause a lot of suffering. And the thing that Ali doesn't know is that all of my coercive and abusive behavior stemmed from my understanding of the deen, which was the traditionalist Salafi understanding. He's trying to insinuate I was some sort of an extremist that's different to what he is or his people are. No, but I was basically like you and your followers. And the red pill phase that I speak about was a short phase, maybe for 1 or 2 years post-divorce, out of a timeline of 20 years. But I do love the way Ali thinks that he knows what happened in my marriage and how it affected me. Again, guys, this is a Dunning-Kruger effect. Ali thinks he knows a lot more than he actually knows.
Consciously, this guy's so terrified that his wife may leave him at any moment that he sees this post as a threat. But he needs to understand that this is his insecurity and stop projecting on the rest of the world. So this weasel is trying to emotionally manipulate his audience using ad hominem attacks, disgust, and shame. Furthermore, the fact that he thinks that and he came to that conclusion is a good indication that he himself is a deluded narcissist who thinks that anything he believes has to be the objective truth. Ali says that she's out there encouraging divorce. And this is the problem. That's his interpretation of what she's saying, because clearly she's not saying anywhere that divorce is good and people should just get divorces for the sake of it. She is saying that you should know your worth as a woman, and if that means leaving someone who doesn't value you in a marriage, then so be it.
So Ali played that clip of mine as if I did or said something wrong. So can he or anyone else actually point to what I did or said that was wrong? I claim that these influencers never encourage divorce. They're not asking women to leave good men. They're telling women to know their own value, to know their worth. And if they're not treated as such, then to leave. And how is that a bad message? Ali says he's not trying to have a go at me, but he's clearly having a go at me. This guy and people like him are literally not aware of what they're saying or doing.
Trying to have a go at you. I'm not like you calling me names, weasel, moron, this, that. Look, listen to me. I mean, let's square, bro. Come and say that to my face. Yeah. Please don't say things you're not going to say to me in my face. Okay? And you're a Muslim. Not that I'm saying I'm threatening you.
Okay, so, I did clarify at the beginning about the words I used, and, I apologize for it. And in my defense, I explained why I used them. I stand by them, all of them. The weasel, the moron, the stupid, all of them. Come and say it to my face. Ali, how old are you, bro? You need to grow up. We're not 15 years old in school anymore. Yeah, can't beat me after school, bruv. Say it to my face, bruv. You're a fully grown adult. And furthermore, you're an ambassador to Islam. You need to get a grip, bro, and you need to start acting like one. This guy is what we call in psychology ego, insecurity, and immaturity. You see, Ali may have the body of a 20, 30-year-old, but he's got the mentality and the mind of a 15-year-old. He feels threatened by words, and he feels the need to show who the bigger man is. Ali, you can have your dick swinging contest with other people, but I'm not interested. It's okay, bro. I mean, look, I wouldn't dream of having a confrontation with you. I don't feel the need to prove myself to you or to anyone. Furthermore, I am so scared of you. In fact, your voice alone makes me tremble. Listen, my brother, I am all about love, empathy, understanding, mercy, and building bridges. But that doesn't mean that if I feel physically threatened, or I feel like my family is being physically threatened, that I wouldn't do what needs to be done, as any man, any father, or any husband would do. So let's leave the hard talk out of these videos. The bro just threatened me, and then he says he's not threatening me. This is what I mean about these people having zero self-awareness.
Look, she's talking about men like you, bro. You've admitted to abusing your wives, and 2 of your wives left you. And then you went into a mental breakdown, which I'm sorry you went through. You're a Muslim, brother. We don't want that for you. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. May Allah heal you. And I think you're in the process of getting healed. And I hope Sister Aya gets healed. Do you see both of you guys are the double extreme? You went to another extreme because you knew what you did to your wife was wrong. You was using religion to blackmail and all this kind of stuff towards your wife. And Aya, Sister Aya, is doing the same thing was married to probably a man like you before, etc. You've changed your ways, no problem. And she's now traumatized. You're both traumatized. Get the hell off the internet, man. Get the hell off the internet. Okay, it's as simple as that. That's all I want to say, inshallah, brothers and sisters, and putting this chapter to an end. And like I said, brothers and sisters, nothing else needs to be said, inshallah. Till next time.
Okay, first off, Ali, she's not talking about men like me. She's talking about men that used to be like me. And I'm also speaking about men that used to be like me. Men like you and your followers. So I don't know what you're trying to say here by pointing that out. And no, I didn't split with 2 of my wives. I split up with 3 of them. And again, what's your point? You see, the problem with these low intelligence and low awareness men is that they always jump to wrong conclusions. And they're always certain of whatever it is they believe. For them, my divorces are something I should be ashamed of and means I have no credibility in what I say. But for me, I see them as learning curves. Experiences that have taught me a lot and helped me grow, and therefore gives me credibility. I don't know why Ali keeps mentioning my divorces and my mental health issues as if it's a bad thing, as if it goes against me. For me, it's the opposite. It means I've experienced things I can talk about. Now guys, I made so many mistakes in my past, and most of them ironically are a result of the way I was brainwashed and understood the deen, the way Ali and his followers understand it currently. And yes, it caused a lot of pain and a lot of suffering to my exes. You know what, I may never get a chance ever to tell them in person how much I regret and how sorry I am about the pain and suffering I caused them. That I never meant to cause them that pain and suffering, that it was just who I was because of the way I was conditioned and because of the things that I was taught. My intentions were good, I thought I was doing the right thing. But it doesn't take away the pain that I caused. I know that now, I understand that. But now I can genuinely see how much pain I caused and how much I made them suffer. And I don't know if they'll ever heal from it, but I wish and I pray from the deepest part of my heart that they have or are healing from it. And after all of this, I went through a phase where I had to make sense of it all. Why was I causing my exes so much suffering when I was trying to be a good Muslim and do the right things? After that phase, I went through a phase of guilt. I felt so shit. I hated myself for what I had done and the pain I'd caused them. After that, I went through a phase of learning and growth. And then finally, I came to a place where I understood myself and why I did what I did, and then began the healing process. So you are right about one thing, Ali. I am healing. And I hope from the deepest part of my heart that one day, if they haven't already, that they can forgive me. But until then, all I can do to atone for the suffering and pain I caused is to educate other men and women about what toxic relationships look like, about misogyny, and about how people can suffer so much pain and it doesn't have to be physical. All I can do is pass on the lessons that I learned from my experiences so that other brothers can do better and sisters can avoid the toxic and misogynistic men out there and avoid going through heartache and pain of the worst kind. And it actually makes me quite sad that you guys see this as a bad thing. It just goes to show how emotionally and mentally immature you guys still are. And I'm talking here, of course, about the Dawah bros and their followers. So guys, the whole point of this video wasn't a refutation. It was to demonstrate how ignorant, arrogant, and unaware some people can be, despite being an influencer to millions of people. These guys are supposed to be inviting people towards God and the representatives of Islam, yet they have such hateful, toxic, arrogant, misogynistic views and beliefs. And the fact that so many Muslims actually listen to him, take from him, defend him, it really does show the sorry state the Ummah is in right now. And wallahi, it's tragic. So I'm going to use the word irony one more time in this video to show Ali how it's supposed to be used in context. Ali Dawah. The word Dawah means to invite. He's supposed to invite people to Islam, to God. But actually he's pushing people away from Islam and from God. That's irony. And do you know how you can tell people like Ali and the Dawah bros aren't actually godly people, aren't actually inviting people to God, but are sectarians inviting people to their sect? You can tell easily, because when you tell them that they're pushing people away, they won't feel bad about it or listen to you, nor will they feel alarmed or think about what they're doing. They won't care. They'll just call them names and insults and say that they're not real Muslims in the first place, and they'll insist that they are right. Just look at some of these comments that I got from people, and there are so many more. I know Ali is a bully. Therefore, I didn't want to leave this comment publicly as he knows me and he will definitely shame me if provoked. This guy's weapon of choice is shame. That's how he controls people. That's how he makes people do what they want. That's how he silences people. Guys, don't let this religious nuts shame you. We don't live in that world anymore. We don't have to put up with it anymore. Your account is single-handedly keeping me a Muslim at this point, lol. The Dawah bros do so much disservice to our religion. They're the reasons why people hate Islam. Agreed. As a revert myself, I was questioning whether I made the right choice coming to Islam after watching their content. How is why I don't listen to these imams and men anymore, because it literally had me questioning my faith and I almost left. I was originally agnostic, and that's because of dudes like Ali Dawah. Subhanallah, I visited Palestine and I talked to actual Muslims who were very loving, and it kickstarted my Islamic journey. These dudes don't realize they are causing harm to people who are already vulnerable with religion like myself. And if you want to know what kind of Muslims Ali Dawah and his cronies produce, well, these are the kinds of people who are coming to his defense. And again, there are much worse ones. Fucking wet emasculate Donny fam. Carry on doing this for the net and building your social platforms. Ain't true to yourself, remember that. You know how we feel in the Muslim world? There's so many of you Pajeets with your natural stupidity. You're so hard to reason with. My advice is go and buy a cart and stick to street food and leave the intellectual stuff to someone who isn't a horny little Pajeet begging for female attention and validation. The simp I expect to be thrown around a lot, but what surprised me was the amount of racism. Just because I'm Asian, the amount of people that come at me, calling me a peji and trying to put me down and degrade me because of my skin color, that really shocked me. Now I want to say something here, guys. I've been part of the Dawah and practicing world for decades. And for most part, I can tell you it's a facade. It's a front, an illusion. Now don't get me wrong. There are some good, sincere, God-fearing scholars, men and women out there. But for the most part, especially with the Dawah bros, it's all just a show. Personally, I've made loads of mistakes in my past and I'll continue to do so. But I'm not out there preaching and judging people. I'm not ashamed of the mistakes I've made, nor will I be shamed for the ones I will make in the future. But these guys who preach, bully and judge others, they have to pretend that they're white as snow, because otherwise it ruins their reputation. But no one is, and I'll tell you one thing for free. The more people preach and pretend to be pure, the chances are the more corrupt they are and the more they have to hide. Now Ali won't let this go. He's far too insecure as a person to do that. He'll make it his life's mission to bring me down. But that's okay because I'm a nobody and I've got nothing. But I guarantee you that he won't critique any of my views or do an academic response. He's going to make digs at me, he's going to slander me, bring up my past marriages, my mental health struggles, and he's going to try to shame me. Again, that's fine by me. But don't be fooled by the righteousness of these Dawah bros. Don't think that their marriages are great, or that they're living happy lives, or that they pray all night or are God-fearing people. It could be the case, but it most likely isn't. The truth is they're probably suffering marriages that are falling apart, sleeping through the night, and behaving in a way that contradicts everything the Prophet ﷺ and Allah wants from us. This last part is not aimed at Ali at all, but the so-called scholars and religious preachers out there who are supposed to be leading the Muslims. Your silence is hurting the Dawah and the community. When you don't challenge and call out these toxic, arrogant, hateful, judgmental, immature Dawah bros, you are complicit with the damage that they cause. And I guarantee you that more and more people will leave Islam. So many people are reaching out to me saying that they are being pushed away from Islam. So many are hanging on by a thread. So if you sheikhs and preachers want to remain relevant, and if you want Islam to remain into the future, you really need to get this house in order. And just to show you the gravity of the situation, and I know you guys are aware because you guys are involved in the community and involved in Dawah, I just don't understand why you don't do anything about the situation. Look at these messages. 3 women I know left Islam. I almost left Islam. Religious leaders are teaching male supremacy. I'm hanging on by a thread, almost leaving Islam too. These men made it so misogynistic that when you point it out, they tell you, you need context, you didn't understand, then make every mental gymnastic to make it look okay. I was born a Muslim. After watching the Dawah brothers and a lot of interpretations from actual scholars, I decided to leave. To me, it just didn't make sense how the perfect religion can be so full of hate, misogyny and control. But then I came across your videos and I slightly felt like coming back to Islam. And then I see these scholars again and I'm like, I stand corrected. And just one more comment to end on a slightly light-hearted note. Somebody actually said, I personally don't want to be in Jannah if Ali Dawah is going to be there. Okay, look, I love Ali Dawah for the sake of Allah, and if he wanted to grab a tea with me and discuss something, I would be more than happy to do that. But I despise what he stands for. The arrogant, self-righteous, better-than-thou judgmental attitude. And the worst thing about it is he can't even see it. I will never speak about his personal business or his family, but I will continue to challenge his views and behaviours that are made public if I think that they are harmful and causing suffering. And I think that's fair game. And I also invite Ali to critique me and to correct me too. May peace be with you all and the blessings of God.